This is my son, Oliver. And just like many of you watching today, we have been on the ADHD roller coaster. He was diagnosed when he was 4 years old. And let me tell you, it's been quite a journey. If you're feeling lost or frustrated, you're not alone and you're definitely in the right place. In the years following Oliver's ADHD diagnosis, my husband and I tried everything. I mean, absolutely everything, to make our home a more peaceful place. But nothing worked for the longest time. And since then, I've talked to thousands of other parents of kids with ADHD. And I've learned that this is a very, very common occurrence. I want you guys to tell me in the comments if this scenario sounds familiar. Every day feels like a battle. You've tried every single thing under the sun to manage your child's behavior, and yet nothing seems to stick. Believe me, I totally get it. We've been there. We've been in feeling that frustration, feeling overwhelmed, and questioning if things will ever get better. If you have ever felt like this, you're in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to share some of our top techniques for parents of kids with ADHD that can help transform their behavior. These strategies have helped my own family, but they've also helped over 1,000 other families of kids with ADHD that I've been so lucky to work with in the past 10 years. And stick around until the very end of this video, because I'm going to actually share some information about what we did with my son to help him get to a place where he's absolutely thriving. He's completely off all medications that he was on, and he's doing so incredibly well. And I want that for everyone. So stick around until the end, because I'm going to share some additional resources to help you get there as well. Now, if you're new here, welcome. I am so glad you're here. I'm Dana Kay, a board-certified health and nutrition practitioner, and I specialize in helping families just like yours. To date, I've helped over 1,300 families and counting. So, if you're ready for actionable tips that can transform your family's life, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. Now, let's dive into today's video. Let me know in the comments, does your child act without thinking? Are they constantly interrupting? Are they always on the move like they're powered by a motor? Does sitting down for a family meal feel like you're trying to wrestle a tornado into a chair? Do they get distracted super easily? Now, if you're nodding along or you're thinking, yes, drop a thumbs up emoji or say, that is us in the comments below. What about, a quick temper or frustration over minor issues? Do they argue all the time? Do they struggle with time management? Do they have problems making or keeping friends? If you're shaking your head yes to a lot of these questions, then you probably understand very well how ADHD can create a lot of daily behavioral challenges. But it's important to remember that ADHD runs a lot deeper than just behavior. It is a true neurological condition, so we don't just want to think about ADHD in terms of behavior management. Instead, we want to recognize that ADHD runs deep and has a biological component. We want to think about the whole child, not just symptoms that affect their behavior. This can really help foster empathy, and it can help us put into place interventions that go beyond just addressing surface behaviors. Now, I'm about to share 7 powerful parenting strategies that have helped my family and over 1,000 others as well. Trust me, you'll want to try these, and make sure and stick around for that bonus tip at the end that I mentioned. It's a game changer and you won't want to miss it. Number 1, maintain consistent routines and structure in your home. Imagine your child waking up every morning knowing exactly what comes next, no battles over breakfast, no meltdowns before school. That's the power of a structured routine. Bringing calm sort of into that chaos. I've seen it in my own house and for so many families. Having a consistent and structured routine can help to create an environment where children with ADHD can thrive. For children with ADHD, the world can sometimes feel like a whirlwind of stimuli where every moment brings an unpredictable challenge. This unpredictability can heighten anxiety and make it difficult for them to sort of navigate their day. So by introducing a consistent and structured routine, we offer a much needed anchor in their daily lives. A predictable schedule provides a sense of security, a sense of stability internally. It reduces that anxiety and makes it easier for them to focus and engage in activities. When children know, what to expect next, whether it's homework time, playtime, bedtime, it reduces the number of decisions they actually have to make. It really allows them to conserve their mental energy for tasks that require focus and self-regulation. Visual schedules, checklists, and organizers can really be incredibly helpful with this first strategy. You could have a visual schedule for each portion of your day. So for example, here you can see one that is getting ready for school in the morning. And we also have one for bedtime. Here's a perfect example. These tools can make daily expectations really clear and help your child transition more smoothly between activities, reducing stress for both of you. You could even include structured times for play, for rest, and other activities into these visual schedules. All right, now that we've got structure and routine down, let's move on to a strategy that will really boost your child's confidence and motivation. Celebrating the wins, acknowledging and celebrating every small success can boost your child's self-esteem. It can help them be motivated, making them more likely to repeat the positive behavior in the future. Some parents like to include rewards and incentives for positive behavior and meeting goals as well, but I personally prefer to use a lot of specific praise and positive feedback, as this really serves the dual purpose of building up their self-esteem as well. Praise specific actions to really reinforce good behavior, such as, I really liked how you shared with your friend today. Now, I'd love to know from you guys, how do you celebrate your child's wins, no matter how small? Do you use praise? Do you use rewards? Or is it something else? Let me know in the comments below. A third strategy is to always communicate in clear and simple instructions. Clear and positive communication is a real key to supporting your child with ADHD. It helps them understand expectations and really reinforces your relationship. Use clear, concise, and specific language when speaking with your child, to enhance understanding and execution. Break down tasks into manageable steps and articulate each phrase clearly and patiently. This approach really ensures they can follow through effectively and builds their confidence in handling these tasks independently. Now, when I first started giving Oliver tasks, I'd say something like, go clean your room. And it just wasn't happening. But when I actually broke it down into simple steps, like pick up your toys first, then put away your clothes, it made a world of difference. And I know many of you are probably nodding along because giving clear, simple instructions really works. Now let's move on to strategy number 4. And this is a big one. Managing emotional outbursts. This is probably one of the most difficult for us as parents, if not probably the most difficult part of parenting a child with ADHD. How do you handle a child who is having a complete and utter meltdown? The first thing to do, and probably the most important and the most difficult, is to stay calm yourself. Children actually need to borrow our nervous systems when they are dysregulated. So this means staying calm and composed yourself, even when everything inside you wants to throw yourself on the floor in a tantrum as well. I get it. I know firsthand how overwhelming these outbursts can feel. Trust me, I have been there so many times. I've been on the verge of tears while my son was having a full-blown meltdown. But staying calm, giving them that calm space to borrow has been a lifesaver for me. This strategy changed everything for us. Along with staying calm, you can also try the name it to tame it strategy. Help your child identify and verbalize their feelings. Naming emotions can really demystify them. They can demystify those real overwhelming feelings and make them more manageable. This technique, known as name it to tame it, helps in making emotions less intense, and it aids children in understanding and expressing their feelings more constructively. Now, another thing you can try in the moment is deep breathing. Breathing deeply and slowly can help reduce the intensity of an emotional outburst. It's a practical tool that children can use anywhere and anytime they feel overwhelmed. So let's actually do a quick breathing exercise right now. Now, a simple yet powerful breathing technique is actually called box breathing. It's a great way for both us adults and our kids to reduce that overwhelm, reduce that stress, to stay calm, and even to help with focus whenever they want. It's called box breathing, and it's as easy as actually drawing a square. Now, think about a box or a square. It's got 4 sides, doesn't it? So box breathing has 4 easy steps, just like the 4 sides of a box. That makes it super simple and super easy to remember. All you have to do is breathe and draw a box with your finger. So first things first, find a comfy place to sit up. Sit up straight like a superhero. And this is a great way to teach your kids as well. And you want to put your feet flat on the floor and your hands resting on your knees. Now, let's learn the 4 simple steps of box breathing. Now, we'll use our finger to trace a box in the air as we go. Okay, you ready? So we're going to inhale. We're going to take a slow breath in through the nose while you trace the first side of the box going up. Count to 4 as you do it. Then you want to keep the air in your lungs while you trace the top of the box going to the right. So you're going to hold your breath and count to 4. Then you're going to exhale. So you're going to breathe out slowly through your mouth while you trace the side of the box going down and count to 4. And then finally, before your next breath, hold it again and trace the bottom of the box going to where you started and count to 4. So let's do that together as a whole. Ta-da! You've just completed 1 box breath. I just love how deep breathing can really make me feel super calm. Now, so far we've talked about a few things to do in the middle of a meltdown. Number 1 is allow your child to borrow your regulated nervous system. Number 2, we're going to name it to tame it. And number 3, we're going to do a deep breathing exercise. Now, another technique that can be really helpful in the moment is to just take a break. If you sense your child getting really close to a meltdown, it is 100% okay to take a break from whatever you are doing. Grab a snack or get a drink or go for a short walk. Breaks can be a real quiet time away from a stressful situation, allowing the child to reset their emotional state. And these are really great because they actually stop the meltdown before it starts. Now, if you catch it really quick enough. One final tip for handling meltdowns is use calming tools. So you want to introduce calming tools like stress balls, fidget spinners, or even soothing music. These can really serve as physical outlets for emotional expression, and it can help distract from triggers of emotional outbursts. By implementing these strategies, parents can not only help manage the immediate situation, but also teach their children valuable skills for regulating their emotions in the future. Okay, guys, is this making sense so far? Let me know in the comments if this is making sense so far, or if you guys have any questions. So far we've covered 4 strategies. We're using consistent routines, celebrating wins, providing clear instructions, and managing meltdowns. Now, let's talk about timeouts. I actually don't love the use of timeouts. Instead, I recommend you utilize a taking space area or a calm down space. A calm down space is a designated area designed to provide a quiet and comforting environment where children, or even adults, can go to regulate their emotions and regain control when they feel overwhelmed or if they feel upset or even overstimulated. This one behind me here, you can see, that's my calm down space. It's not a punishment, but instead a place where kids or us can go to work through their emotions. It's important children aren't sent to this area and forced to stay there until they're calm. Instead, it's a resource they can use to soothe their nervous system. Okay, strategy number 6. Set realistic expectations and goals about behavior that are specifically tailored to your child's capabilities and current challenges. So for example, if focusing on homework is a struggle, an initial goal might be to concentrate on a single task for a set period before taking a break. I also recommend you involve your child in the process. This allows them to take ownership of their behavior and really understand the steps that they need to succeed. Discuss why they feel they can achieve it and help them break down larger goals into smaller ones, more manageable steps for them. It's also important to really celebrate even some small successes. This really helps in building that momentum and that confidence. Each achievement, no matter how minor it may seem, is progress and deserves recognition. Now, finally, the 7th strategy is to collaborate with teachers and other professionals. This really ensures a consistent approach across all environments, home and in school. Do this by maintaining regular communication with teachers to monitor progress and to share strategies that work. Okay, so we've covered 7 strategies in this video to help support you as you support your child with ADHD. So let's summarize those 7 strategies again. Strategy number 1, maintain consistent routines and structure. Number 2, celebrate the wins, even how small they are. Strategy number 3 is always provide clear and simple instructions. Strategy number 4, manage emotional outbursts. Number 5, use calm down spaces instead of those nasty timeouts. Number 6 was to set realistic expectations and goals. And then finally, strategy number 7 was to collaborate with teachers and professionals. Give these strategies a try and remain patient throughout the process. Remember, each child is unique and finding what works best may take some time and adjustment. Now, all right, if you've made it this far, get ready because this next part is really where things get exciting, in my opinion. Now, I'm about to share some bonus tips that go beyond behavior management. Remember when I mentioned at the start that my son, Oliver, is thriving? Well, he's completely off the 3 ADHD medications that he was on and doing better than we ever imagined. He is almost 15 and he is in high school. How did we get here? Now, I am going to share those game-changing tips with you right now. These bonus tips have less to do with parenting and dealing with challenging behaviors, and more to do with reducing inflammation in your child's body. And that's because I have found in my work that when you reduce inflammation in your child's body, this actually has a side benefit of also improving behavior. And I can tell you, it's usually one of the first things that improves. So if you've been following me for very long, you know that I recommend families of kids with ADHD make dietary changes, specifically removing the highly inflammatory foods like gluten and dairy, artificial flavors and colors, and excessive amounts of sugar. But we want to replace these foods with micronutrient-rich foods like whole fruits and veggies, grass-fed or wild-caught protein sources, and healthy fats. I've added some links in the video description below for several videos that explain in more detail why these foods are so detrimental to kids with ADHD. So check that out for more information. But in essence, the reason I recommend these changes is because I have seen in both my son and in over 1,000 other families that I have worked with that the foods we eat can either help or exacerbate ADHD behaviors. If your child is consistently eating foods that cause inflammation in the body, the brain, and the gut, like the ones I mentioned a second ago, then no matter what behavioral strategy you use or what environmental change you make, your child is still going to struggle, and we don't want that. You have to get to the bottom of what's causing the inflammation in your child's body. And the first step to doing that is changing diet. So diet is step one. Many families find that just changing the diet, cutting out those highly inflammatory foods and replacing them with whole foods, that alone can be enough to get a family to a better place. But if not, then we can dig deeper through functional lab testing and then targeted supplementation where we address the underlying stresses that those functional lab tests have identified for that child. Now, some potential underlying stresses include things like parasites, leaky gut, food sensitivities, candida, cryptopyrrole, and others. I'm also going to pop a link into the video description for more information about functional lab testing too. So check that out for more information. Now, I'd love to hear from you guys. What strategies have worked or not worked for your family? Share your story in the comments because I can tell you your experience could help another family in this amazing community. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone you know who could use some support. Let's continue this journey together because none of us have to do this alone. Together, we can help our kids not just manage ADHD, but truly thrive.